Friday night, so right. Oh, welcome to the video. So, this video is going to be, the title is obviously Purpose Saved My Life. So I'm going to tell you a story about when I was in uni. So it had been back in 2019 when I first moved to uni. I think at the time where this story comes from I would have already turned 18, but when I first went to uni I was 17. And basically, like I always had a wee bit of issues with anxiety and stuff throughout school. I was shy, but like I always kind of got on with everyone, even like the popular people or the people who are like nerds and you know all the shit lingo and stuff that they use in school. I kind of got on with everybody, and I would be able to sit and have a conversation with everybody, and everybody knew who I was. I was just kind of like I was kind of pals with everybody in a way. But so I went to uni, and just that massive transition of having to do everything for yourself, like I experienced a few months ago, but it was much worse because I didn't have any of the wisdom I have now, any of the knowledge on how to progress and stuff now, and how to deal with the situation. And it was just kind of, it got quite overwhelming at one point where I was just in the middle of doing my daily stuff. So I was waking up, going like walking to the train, get on the train to training, train back, get changed, shower, eat, you go to uni lectures all day, come home, I need to go to the shop, then I need to cook my food, and then by the time all that's done I don't really have any time to relax and have to go to bed. It would be like that for a few days in the week, and then go out at the weekend, get drunk, sleep halfway into the next day, think fuck, I need to get my meal prep done for the week, I've got no food, I need to go to the shops, but then I want to do things with my pals, and at this point as well I was struggling to have sex with women. Like I couldn't get my dick hard. I was struggling to have connections with, like, trying to like meet women and stuff, even though I was at uni and I was going out, like maybe kiss a girl in a club or something, but I'd never go much further than that. I think I slept with a girl on like my first night at uni, but it was somebody I went to school with and stuff, so it wasn't really like meeting a new person, if you know what I mean. But then from there I had a Tinder link up which I went to, but I couldn't get hard, and just had other situations similar, but not like just like you kiss a girl in a club when you go out. It's not like it's normal things. Obviously I'm a handsome guy, but I remember sitting one night in my uni halls, and I think I was trying to sleep because I had to get to bed early to go to the gym and train the next morning. And I thought to myself, like, it was a weird sort of way of doing it, but I kind of just thought, like, I wonder what being suicidal would be like what would it be like to think about killing myself. So I just sat there and thought for a second, well, more than a second obviously, for like a few minutes, and just thought, what reasons have I got to live? And obviously, like, now looking back, I had many reasons to live, but at the time all I could genuinely think of was my purpose with rugby, and like wanting to do something great with rugby. I didn't really enjoy uni. I didn't have any like relationships. I was far away from my friends, far away from my family, and that kind of like wasn't in my mind of like wanting to live for, like, it sounds really bad, but it didn't drive me as much. I didn't feel that emotionally connected to my family or to my friends. I felt like it was just me. I felt like I was just on my own. Like, I didn't feel like that sense of connection with my family and friends at all, and I think that took a bit of a toll on me. And so when I was thinking of reasons to live, that didn't even come into it came to my head, but I was like, meh. Like, I didn't think of it as a strong reason, which is such a shit way of thinking, and I think a lot of young men think like that. when it comes to family or friends around them, they don't really value how important that is to have those relationships with your family and with your friends, and having people that you would die for, obviously not commit suicide for, but that you would like run in front of a bullet and stuff. Like I think a lot of young men really appreciate that, and I definitely do now. Like I have that sense of duty and connection with my family because I've increased my masculinity and my awareness of my masculine core and how I move in the world and how I think about people and how I treat people. But at the time I didn't have that shit. I didn't think like that. I was sitting there thinking like, so what reasons do I have to live? Family, friends, yeah, they're cool, but I was like, uni, not really. Am I happy? I wasn't happy at all. So I was like, nah, it's not really that fun. I'm not my life. I'm not really traveling anywhere. I'm not having fun. Genuinely, the only reason I could think of is like, my job's not done. My rugby career is not finished. I've not achieved what I want to achieve. That was the only thing I could think of that kind of kept me from having nothing that I was really motivated to live for. And I think that is the issue with male suicide. I think a lot of young men will go through that period where they don't really feel like there's anything to live for. They don't have a purpose that they're driving for, and this video is more so about just how important purpose is rather than the story, because like I said, I wasn't really contemplating killing myself. I was just thinking, what if I were to be a suicidal person? What are my reasons to live? That was literally like the thought exercise I'd done. I just randomly thought of it one night because I was miserable, as you do, and that kind of came into my mind. I just like the fact that my purpose was the only thing at that time that was really giving me something, like giving me excitement and energy, even when I was feeling like shit. That was the only thing that I actually wanted to live for, like truly and wholly. Like I could feel that I wanted to complete my mission in rugby. Like I said, my job's not done, and to this day my job isn't done, although I'm miles ahead of where I was, and my wisdom in life has increased exponentially in the time since I left uni. This was at the very start. I was there for like a year and a half. But I think that if young men, I've not quite managed to articulate in my philosophy and stuff of how to go about finding your purpose, and that's something I really want to delve into. I really want to sit down and think about that. And when I say like sit down and think about that, it's not like you always think about these philosophers where they lock themselves in a room for days on end and sit and think through their philosophy and argue both sides and all this. I don't mean sitting down like that. I mean just when I philosophize over things, it takes me like weeks, months of thinking about it in my head, whether I'm on the bus going to work, a bus coming back, anytime I'm just driving in the car or something, or I'm sitting around doing nothing, or even when I'm trying to get to sleep. Sometimes I'm sitting philosophizing over these topics, and that's what I want to do about how you actually find your purpose. I was very fortunate that I just fell in love with rugby. Like I started rugby when I was about 8 years old. I never stopped since then. I did fall out of love with it at points, but I had other sports that at one point I wanted to go to the NBA. I was in love with basketball. At one point I wanted to be a professional footballer. I wanted to play in the Premier League and stuff, but with the rugby it was always there. I always played rugby while I was doing that, and that's where my purpose came from. It was a 2015 World Cup. I was fortunate enough, my parents got us tickets to see Scotland versus South Africa in the pool stages, and New Zealand versus Tonga in the pool stages. And when I thought that was like the first World Cup that I finished, fully followed from start to finish, and that was probably the pivotal moment where I decided, rugby is number one. I want to go all the way with rugby. And I was already involved in age grade setups for regional teams and stuff like that, and that kind of gave me the belief that okay, so if I'm in the system, I can go somewhere like it. People think I'm good at rugby. People think I've proved that I'm competent at rugby. how much can I improve? I want to win a World Cup. That was my inspiration. That is my purpose to this day. Now, the purpose runs deeper than just wanting to win a World Cup. It's how you inspire people with doing something so seemingly impossible, especially in a country like Scotland where we can't even win a Six Nations. But get back to the main point of the video, is that purpose. I wanna give you guys the answer of how to find your purpose. What makes you, in your lowest moments, when you're sitting thinking about all the things that you want to live for and nothing seems to grab you, nothing seems to make you want to move forward in life. I think a lot of men that kill themselves, they don't have anything. That deeply saddens me. They don't have anything that they want to live for. They don't have a purpose. That's like the core of masculine essence. That's why so many men are depressed, because they don't have anything that they truly and wholly want to live for, to achieve something great. They don't have that in them. They don't feel that about anything. They just go about their life. I want to find that, and there's no other point to make than purpose saved my life. Like, I wasn't actually considering killing myself, but I was thinking, what if I were to kill myself? What would be the things that I don't get to do? Like, it was almost like that memento mori in Stoicism. Ryan Holiday speaks about a lot of meditating on your death. Like, if I were to die right now, what have I not achieved yet that I want to do? Purpose. That's what men live for. See you guys in the next video.